We wake in the morning with a quiet ache, a subtle question that tugs at the heart. Why am I here? In the stillness before the day's noise begins, there is a yearning to find purpose, to know that our struggles and hopes fit into something bigger, something that matters. This yearning is universal. The ancient Stoics felt it too beneath the Mediterranean sun, walking the colonnades of Athens. They sought answers in wisdom and virtue, crafting a philosophy to guide not just thought, but life's every action. And here we are centuries later, hearts heavy with the same questions, looking to those ancient words for light. Stoic philosophy speaks to that emptiness with a poetic reassurance. It tells us that purpose isn't a single trophy to attain or a destiny bestowed by some external power. It is a way of living, a daily alignment with our deepest values. As Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, reflected, "Everything, a horse, a vine, is created for some duty. For what task, then, were you yourself created?" In these words lies a gentle challenge, to look inward and remember that we, like all of nature, have a role to play. Each of us is born for something, endowed with unique gifts and placed in specific circumstances. There is a reason you draw breath at this very moment in history. The Stoics would say it's no accident. Your task is to discover it and live it fully. Know thyself, the Greeks inscribed at Delphi. The journey to purpose begins here, with self-knowledge. In the opening of our story, imagine a lone figure standing at dawn, the sky painted in first light. Perhaps this figure is you. The air is cool, the world still quiet. In that fragile moment between dreaming and duty, you feel the weight of another day, and the hope that today you might move closer to understanding why you were given this day at all. The Stoics would have us seize this feeling, not flee from it. This is the fertile ground where purpose can be found, in honest reflection, courageous exploration, and the resolve to live intentionally. In this video, we will walk the Stoic path toward purpose. We'll draw on the hard-won wisdom of ancient sages like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, not as distant idols, but as wise friends walking alongside us. We'll see how their insights echo in modern lives, how an ordinary person today, just like you, can find meaning amid chaos by practicing these principles. Through poetic reflection and practical steps, together we will ignite that inner flame that has long yearned to burn brighter. Stay with us until the end. Your purpose is calling softly but persistently, and by the final words you may find its voice has grown clearer. Stoicism's view of purpose, living in accord with nature. What do the Stoics say about purpose? To the Stoic philosophers, the purpose of life was not a mysterious puzzle. It was woven into the very fabric of our being. They believed in living according to nature, meaning both the nature of the universe and our own human nature. Humans, they observed, are rational creatures with social instincts. Our nature is to reason, to seek wisdom, and to care for our fellow humans. Therefore, a life of purpose is one aligned with these capacities, a life of virtue, contribution, and understanding. At its core, Stoicism teaches that the only true good is virtue, living with excellence of character. Wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance are the four cardinal virtues the Stoics cultivated. Everything outside of virtue, fame or poverty, sickness or health, they called indifference. Not that these things don't matter at all, but that they are not intrinsically good or bad. How we use them is what matters. Thus, finding your purpose in Stoic terms is less about choosing a specific job or achieving a certain status, and more about becoming a certain kind of person, a good person who uses every situation as an opportunity to exercise virtue. Think of purpose not as a singular destination, but as a direction. Seneca, a Stoic statesman, wrote, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." The port we choose is our guiding purpose. Without it, we drift aimlessly, even in calm seas. With it, we can navigate even the stormiest waters. What is that port for the Stoic? It might be as simple and profound as doing the right thing in each moment. Marcus Aurelius counseled himself, Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Purpose is found in action, in embodying our highest values right now, rather than endlessly debating or daydreaming about them. The Stoic view of purpose is also deeply connected to our role in the larger community. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that he was part of a greater whole, a citizen of the world, like a single thread in the tapestry of the cosmos. What is not good for the bee cannot be good for the hive, he wrote, equating individual and collective well-being. For us, this means that a purposeful life is not lived in isolation. It finds meaning in contribution, in serving others and the common good. Modern psychology echoes this ancient truth. Studies find that people often discover purpose when they use their strengths in service to something larger than themselves. The Stoics knew this ages ago. They spoke of sympathia, a universal mutual interdependence. In recognizing that interconnection, we realize that our purpose often involves lifting others up. By improving ourselves, we improve the world. By helping others, we fulfill ourselves. Crucially, Stoicism frames purpose as within our control. Epictetus taught the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to us and others are not. Our actions, choices, and attitudes are within our power. External outcomes, other people's opinions, or random events are not. Therefore, a Stoic finds purpose not in chasing external approval or luck, but in focusing on intentional action. Purpose becomes agency, choosing to live by principles no matter what fate deals. You get to decide what life means through the purpose you live out, rather than having it dictated by fortune. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Define your values and goals clearly, then commit to the work needed. This alignment of identity and action is the Stoic pathway to purpose. Modern lives, Stoic lessons, stories of purpose rediscovered. Let's step out of ancient theory for a moment and into the lives of people today. How can Stoic wisdom help an ordinary person find purpose amid the noise and trials of modern life? Sometimes the best way to understand is through story. Here are a few glimpses of individuals who felt lost but found meaning through Stoic principles, original, resonant examples that might reflect a piece of your own journey. 1. The Deferred Dream, Eleanor's story, from surgeon ambition to a higher calling. Eleanor grew up dreaming of becoming a neurosurgeon. As a child, she was fascinated by the brain. She worked tirelessly through school with a singular focus. But life threw an unexpected obstacle. Her family could not afford the immense cost of medical school. In one crushing moment, her path seemed barred by circumstances outside her control. Devastated, Eleanor spiraled into weeks of despair, feeling her life had lost its meaning. Everything she had aimed for slipped away due to a twist of fate. How could she find purpose now? In that darkness, Eleanor turned to philosophy. By chance, she picked up Marcus Aurelius's Meditations and Seneca's letters. Night after night, their words challenged and comforted her. She read Marcus's reminder that at dawn, we must go to work as a human being, fulfilling our role, whatever it may be. She realized her identity and worth were not lost just because one career door closed. Epictetus seemed to speak directly to her. Focus on what is in your control, your dedication, your attitude, your ability to learn and contribute, and accept what isn't. Elena let go of the notion that her purpose was tied to the title surgeon. She asked herself anew, what is my duty? How can I be of service? In the months that followed, Elena found another path to help others. She trained as a counselor and educator, channeling her love of science and compassion for people into mental health work. It wasn't the life she originally envisioned, but it was deeply meaningful. Each day, by improving someone's mindset or easing their grief, she feels alive with purpose. The Stoic lesson in Elena's story is clear. Sometimes our fate redirects us for a reason. If we embrace reality rather than resist it, an unforeseen path can lead to even greater fulfillment. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, just as nature takes every obstacle and works around it, turns it to its purposes, so too a rational being can turn each setback into raw material and use it to achieve its goal. Eleanor turned her obstacle into the way forward, discovering a purpose that perhaps truly fit her nature all along. 2. The gift of adversity. Marcus Anderson's story, paralyzed but not defeated. Across the ocean, another modern individual faced a life-shattering upheaval. Marcus Aurelius Anderson, an uncanny namesake of the ancient emperor, was a soldier in training preparing to deploy with the army. But before he could even begin that chapter, a severe spinal injury struck him down. One day he was strong and able. The next he was paralyzed from the neck down, doctors telling him he would never walk again. In the agony that followed, Marcus teetered on the brink. He literally died twice on the operating table and was revived. Imagine the despair of waking into a reality where your body is immobile, your dreams seemingly over. Many would understandably succumb to bitterness. But lying in that hospital bed, Marcus found within himself a spark the Stoics would recognize: the will to make meaning out of suffering. With nothing left but his mind, he recalled the Stoic teachings he had encountered. He realized that even if he could not choose his physical fate, he could choose his response. Paralyzed, he still had agency in his attitude, his mindset. Epictetus's metaphor of life as a play came alive for him. Remember that you are an actor in a play, determined by the playwright. Your job is to put on a splendid performance of the role you've been given. Marcus's role had dramatically changed, from warrior to a man facing adversity, but he resolved to play it well. He started to see his injury not as a curse, but as his task, his particular challenge through which he could find and demonstrate virtue. In Stoic terms, he practiced Amor Fati, a love of fate, accepting this twist in his story completely, even gratefully. Over grueling months, Marcus made painstaking progress, first moving a finger, then a hand. Every tiny improvement was a victory of courage and determination. He also discovered a new purpose blossoming in that hospital room: to help others facing hardship. In his vulnerability, he found empathy and a drive to serve. He began writing about his journey, eventually authoring a book titled The Gift of Adversity. His message to the world is pure Stoicism in modern attire: that adversity can break us or make us, and it's up to our mindset to choose which. Marcus regained his ability to walk, but more importantly, he walked away with a mission. Today, he coaches others in resilience, teaching that the struggle itself can give birth to purpose. His story shows that even in the darkest of circumstances, we remain the authors of our life's meaning. As Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." In meeting adversity head-on, Marcus Anderson proved himself and found a purpose nothing could take away. 3. The Everyday Samaritan. John's story, finding purpose in service, not success. Not all journeys to purpose arise from tragedy. Sometimes they stem from a slow realization that something is missing. Consider John, a marketing executive who, by all external measures, had it all. In his early 30s, John had a stable job, a high-rise apartment, and the disposable income to enjoy life's pleasures. Yet, each night he came home feeling a gnawing emptiness. The projects at work felt meaningless, selling products he didn't truly care about. The cycle of reports and meetings, followed by nights of browsing social media and streaming shows, left him in a strange malaise. Is this all there is? He wondered. The lack of apparent suffering in his life made it even more puzzling to him that he felt so adrift. John stumbled upon Stoicism in a podcast. Intrigued by its promise of inner peace, he read Seneca's On the Shortness of Life. There he confronted a line that jolted him awake. Let all your efforts be directed to something. Let it keep that end in view. He realized he had been expending enormous effort daily, but toward no clear end that he found worthwhile. He was busy but not purposeful. Seneca's wisdom cut through the fog. It's not activity itself that makes us feel alive, but meaningful activity. John decided to clarify his values. He wrote down what he truly cared about: helping others, creative expression, and continuous learning. He saw how little of his current life touched these values. This was the source of his emptiness, a life out of alignment with his deeper principles. Inspired, John began to make changes. He volunteered on weekends at a local community kitchen, rediscovering the simple joy of service. Ladling soup for those in need, he felt useful and connected to others for the first time in years. During weekdays, he started mentoring a junior colleague, finding purpose in guiding someone's growth rather than just meeting quotas. He also carved out time to revive an old passion: writing. His initial instinct was to perhaps start a blog on Stoicism and modern life, to share what he was learning. He recalled Marcus Aurelius's Humility in Meditations, a personal journal never meant for publication, and realized writing could be a tool for his own clarity and maybe a way to help readers too. So he wrote a little each morning about virtue, focus, and purpose, feeling his own understanding deepen. John's job remained the same for a while, but John was not the same. By infusing his days with acts of virtue and connection, he transformed even the dull office hours into opportunities to practice patience, honesty, and kindness, the Stoic virtue of justice in action. Before long, this new orientation opened a door. Through a volunteer connection, he was offered a role at a non-profit organization doing marketing for a cause he believed in. He took the leap. The pay was less, the prestige lower, but his heart was full. Each day he sees how his work directly benefits others, and that fires him up to give his best. He has found his port to sail toward. John's story shows that purpose can be quietly discovered by realigning your life with your values, one small step at a time. By asking, "How can I do the most good today?" he began to live each day as a purposeful practice, and over time those days coalesced into a purposeful life. These stories of Elena, Marcus, and John are just a few among countless modern journeys. Different as their circumstances are, they each illustrate key Stoic insights: that purpose is an inner-directed choice, not something the world hands you, that often it is in the hardships or dissatisfaction where the seed of purpose is planted, and that by turning to principles of wisdom and virtue, anyone can nurture that seed into a flourishing life. Perhaps you see a piece of yourself in one of them: the thwarted dreamer, the afflicted fighter, or the restless achiever. Or maybe your story is entirely your own. Whatever your path, know that Stoic philosophy has tools to help you find meaning where you are, as you are. As one commentator put it, a Stoic finds purpose by aligning their actions and values with their rational nature and the pursuit of virtue, while accepting the natural limitations of human existence. In other words, become the best of yourself and accept the rest. Stoic Principles in Action: 5 Steps to Discover Your Purpose. By now, we've explored the Stoic perspective and seen it come alive in story. Let's distill these ideas into practical steps you can take starting today. Philosophy, the Stoics insist, is not just to be contemplated but lived. Here are 5 actionable Stoic-inspired steps to help you discover and clarify your purpose. Think of these as gentle exercises for the soul, a way to align your daily life with the deeper meaning you seek. 1. Know yourself and define your values. Take time to reflect deeply on who you are and what you truly value. What qualities do you admire most in others? What principles are non-negotiable for you? The Stoics believed that purpose starts with understanding our own nature and character. Make a list of your core values, perhaps integrity, compassion, courage, creativity, and then ask how these can guide your life's direction. As Epictetus urged, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. If you decide, "I want to be a person who helps others," that clarity can point you toward careers or hobbies in service of others. If learning is a key value, maybe your purpose involves constant growth and teaching what you know. Define your personal virtues and ideals. This is your inner compass. Writing in a journal can be powerful here. Marcus Aurelius's own journal helped him reinforce the kind of man he aimed to be each day. be brutally honest, but also compassionate with yourself in this reflection. It's not about what others expect of you, but what you hold to be meaningful. 2. Embrace the dichotomy of control. Focus on what you can do and let go of the rest. Many people feel purposeless because they fixate on circumstances out of their control. I can't find purpose until I get a better job, until so-and-so appreciates me, until the world changes. Stoicism cuts through this by teaching, concentrate only on your sphere of control. You cannot dictate the job market, but you can decide to improve your skills or reach out to new connections today. You cannot force people to recognize your worth, but you can do good work and cultivate your character regardless. Make a 2-column list. On one side, the worries or hopes you have that are outside your control. Others' opinions, random events, past mistakes, the future in abstract. On the other side, list what is in your control regarding each item. Your effort, your learning, your attitude, the next small step you could take. Purpose emerges when we consistently invest energy into what we can affect. If your passion is, say, climate change, you alone can't reverse it, not in your control, but you can volunteer locally, educate yourself and others, reduce your own footprint, in your control. Focusing on these actions will give a sense of purpose and agency, instead of paralysis over the enormity of the issue. Epictetus would remind his students that you are the captain of your thoughts and choices, if not the seas on which you sail. So center yourself in that power. Each day, identify one purposeful action fully within your control and do it with dedication. 3. Identify your roles and serve them well. We play many roles in life. You might be at once a parent, a friend, an artist, a student, a mentor, a citizen. Stoicism teaches that purpose can be found in honoring the duties of our roles. Ask yourself, what roles do I occupy, and what does excellence look like in each? Perhaps you realize that a big part of your purpose is to be a loving parent, raising your children with wisdom and kindness. That's enormously meaningful. Embrace it as a central purpose, rather than treating it as an afterthought. Or maybe you're in a role at work where you don't feel grand passion, but you can find purpose in doing that job honorably and helping your colleagues. Excellence in small things leads to greater meaning. As Epictetus taught with the actor in a play analogy, sometimes we don't get to choose all our roles, but we can choose to perform them exquisitely well. Take pride in being, say, the reliable friend who is always there, fidelity is part of justice, or the team member who remains calm under pressure, temperance and courage. This doesn't mean you can't seek new roles if the current ones feel limiting, but while you are in a role, be present and give it your best. Purpose is often less about what you do than how you do it. By serving your roles well, you practice virtue daily, and a sense of purpose will naturally follow. 4th, practice ongoing mindfulness and reflection. Purpose isn't found in a single eureka moment. It's revealed gradually through continuous reflection and mindful living. The Stoics were essentially practitioners of mindful awareness. Marcus Aurelius confided in his journal each night, examining himself. Did I live according to my principles today? Seneca advised recounting the day's events each evening, asking where he did well and where he could do better. Adopt a similar daily or weekly reflection habit. Set aside quiet time to think about questions like, when did I feel most alive or fulfilled recently? What was I doing, and what values were I expressing? Conversely, when did I feel empty or conflicted, and what does that tell me about what's missing? Write these thoughts down. Over time, patterns emerge that point to your purpose. For example, you might notice you consistently feel invigorated when teaching someone a skill. This could indicate that sharing knowledge is part of your purpose. Mindfulness also means being fully present in whatever you're doing. Concentrate on the task at hand, as Marcus urged. Every hour, focus your mind attentively on the performance of the task in front of you, with dignity, human sympathy, and freedom. When you give each moment your full presence, you start to notice which activities resonate deeply and which feel hollow. Follow more of the meaningful ones. Pay attention to feedback from life. Often your purpose speaks through moments of joy, peace, or even righteous anger, pointing you toward causes you care about. Cultivating this awareness will ensure your purpose isn't something you impose on life, but something you discover within it, organically. 5. Turn obstacles into opportunities. Amor Fati. No journey toward purpose will be free of setbacks. In fact, challenges often clarify purpose in ways easy times cannot. The Stoic approach is to treat obstacles as fuel for the fire. When you face hardship or failure, ask, how can this make me stronger or wiser? How can I use this in my purpose? By doing so, you rob the obstacle of its negative power and instead make it serve your goals. For instance, if you lose your job, it could be the very push that sets you on the path to the work you're truly meant to do. Much like Elena's story, where losing one dream led her to a more fitting purpose. Or if you experience a health crisis, perhaps it teaches you profound patience or inspires you to help others with the same condition. This step is about attitude. Stoic greats like Epictetus and Marcus would actually welcome challenges as opportunities to practice virtue, a chance to be courageous, to be patient, to be compassionate under stress. It's a kind of alchemy, turning trial into purpose. Try to adopt Amor Fati, love of fate, in small ways. Next time something inconvenient or disappointing happens, take a deep breath and say, good, an obstacle. This is an opportunity to exercise my purpose. If your purpose, for example, is to spread kindness, then the difficult co-worker or the rude stranger on the train suddenly becomes your chance to live that purpose by responding with patience and empathy instead of anger. Over time, this mindset makes you unstoppable. Nothing that happens can divert you from living meaningfully because you'll incorporate everything, good or bad, into the narrative of your purpose. In this way, you build resilience. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. A sentiment often summarized as, the obstacle is the way. Let this mantra remind you that often our greatest purpose is born from our greatest pain. By practicing these 5 steps, you are essentially doing what the Stoics did every day, aligning your life closer to virtue, clarity, and meaningful action. It's important to be patient with yourself in this process. Purpose is a lifelong journey, not a box to tick off. In fact, the Stoics might say that living well is your purpose, that if you commit to growing in wisdom and goodness each day, you are already fulfilling the highest purpose a human can have. Any specific calling, doctor, artist, parent, activist, is an expression of that larger purpose. So, use these steps as ongoing practices. Revisit your values often. Refine what's in your control and what isn't as life changes. Dedicate yourself to your roles anew when you falter. Reflect, adjust, and keep moving forward. Little by little, you will find that you are not seeking your purpose as a distant goal. You are living it here and now. As we conclude, picture once more that early morning hush, the sun breaking over the horizon, coloring the world in hope. That lone figure, yes, you, stands at the threshold of a new day. But now, armed with Stoic insights, there is a newfound determination in your eyes. The quiet ache for meaning has transformed into a quiet confidence. You know that your purpose is not a single answer from the heavens. It's the story you write with each decision, each day. You feel the truth of Marcus Aurelius's reassurance that it is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. And you? You are ready to begin to live fully and purposefully, starting today. Remember that finding your purpose is not a one-time quest, it's a continuous act of creation. Every morning, as Marcus advised himself, we can rise and say, I have to go to work, as a human being. What was I created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm? No, to do the work of a human being. Your work as a human being is to bring forth the best that is in you, in service of the world and in harmony with nature. Some days will be challenging, and that's all right. You will use those challenges as stepping stones. Other days will be triumphant in modest ways. A kind word spoken, a task well done, a personal fear overcome, and you will recognize those moments as the very substance of purpose. As you close this video and step back into your life, carry this Stoic lesson in your heart. Purpose is something you live, not something you find and then set aside. It is in the small choices and the grand vision alike. It is in striving to be a little wiser, a little kinder, a little braver each day. It is in understanding that right here, right now, you are enough and you have all you need to contribute meaningfully to the tapestry of existence. No one else can play your part. The Stoics have given you guidance. Now it's up to you to walk the path. We hope this journey into Stoic wisdom has ignited a spark within you, a spark that will grow into a steady flame, lighting your way. If you found value in this reflection, consider joining our community by hitting the subscribe button. The Be Stoic channel is dedicated to walking alongside you with content that inspires resilience, wisdom, and purposeful living. There are more videos awaiting you that delve into related Stoic teachings, from overcoming adversity to mastering emotions, all tools for your journey. Check them out to keep building your Stoic toolkit. In the words of Seneca, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. Your purpose will reveal itself more and more as you learn and live. So, begin now. Take a step, however small, on the path that feels true. Trust that as you live with intention and virtue, each step is guiding you home to your purpose. Thank you for watching, and let us live with purpose. Live with purpose, live with virtue. Until next time, stay strong, stay stoic, and keep moving toward the life you are meant to live. Subscribe for more insights, and never stop seeking the wisdom to find yourself and become it. Know yourself and become who you're meant to be. Thank you for being here. Your purpose awaits. Go live it.